W. E. O'Neill's expansion has always been driven by opportunity and purpose, crossing into new cities and new industries. In 1933, our relationships led to a slate of work at Chicago's Century of Progress World's Fair, including the iconic Ford Rotunda.
At the conclusion of that fair, the Ford Motor Company had us move the structural element to their exhibit spaces at Dearborn, Michigan.
They were able to do these things, and with that expertise and challenge, they could go out and get more work with those people.
The manufacturing industry in the Midwest, and particularly in Chicago, was taking off. So they started building facilities for the steel mills.
When World War II erupted, W. E. O'Neill faced new challenges head-on. It was a tough time, but we persevered on the quality of our projects and our ability to adapt.
There was a lot of public works going on, and they were, like a lot of companies, really had to move around the country to survive, and they did that.
In 1950, Art O'Neill took over as president, and just like that, we were off, exploring new territories and broadening the types of projects we took on.
They started building these toll roads and things around the country, this heavy highway thing, bridges down in central Illinois.
And as our work scaled, so did our reach, well beyond our Chicago roots.
So my dad met the O'Neill family in 1981, talked to him about starting an Arizona office, and that happened at the beginning of 1982. It was the first subsidiary of O'Neill outside the Chicago area. We really developed a strong market presence with hospitality.
And it wasn't shortly after I started in 1982 that Rich had a customer that wanted to build an office in California. So Rich went to California, executed that project, and decided he'd like to open up an office in California.
When I started, there was 15 to 20 employees in California. One of our foundational items in the California office was working in the aerospace industry. But we were also in retail, we did hotel work. It ebbed and flowed as we were a small company, but we tried to do work in numerous markets.
Those relationships moved on to the different areas of the different parts of the country. And the people did too. Some people moved from here into the other spots.
And sometimes market expansion is as simple as seeing an opening and making it happen.
I wanted to do something entrepreneurial. I wasn't sure. I was looking around, and one of the calls I made was to Brian Ramsey. Kind of jokingly, I said, "Are you ready to open that Denver office?" And he kind of laughed, and then a couple days later he called me back and said, actually, we've got this deal in Santa Barbara, and if you'll come run it, we'll put together a plan to set up an office in Denver.
I think the age of the 2000s was market diversification for O'Neill.
Rich's idea was, let's be diverse. We got to get into numerous markets here, not just stick to one.
Our growth continued, reaching new cities like Nashville and Austin, and expanding into new corners of the country. With 12 offices across 6 states, we've built nationwide and remain focused on smart, strategic expansion.
And then as you have the one team across the nation, you're able to leverage people, the regional expertise, the market expertise, and then be able to build upon that to create more growth, more wealth for the employees for years to come.